Cold, windy, and I almost lost a $4,000 light, all to give you my advice on the best practices when you have to shoot in the cold. And man, was it cold, but McKenna, our model, powered through, and you will even hear from her in this video. We go over everything from shooting with natural light, on-camera flash, and even the stupid idea of bringing a parabolic reflector out on location with no assistant. A little ice on the brain didn't make for the smartest decisions, but the fact that we stayed warm really helped. So let's start at the end of the day. So my first tip to working in the cold is to move quickly. It's the end of the day, no sun to warm us up, and losing light fast. I'm going for this fall look. I have no lights, just keeping the setting sun to my back and keeping our model moving to make sure she stays warm and not spending too much time in any one spot. For these images, I set up along a path and started out with some portraits, shooting tight, then backed up for some wider shots since I'm shooting with the fixed lens on the Fuji X100 VI, and then moving in for some 3/4 images. Then we move against a tree, then move to sitting on a log, in which I move around quickly to capture different views. And then I have McKenna stand amongst a bunch of leaves and just keeping things moving through the location, which helps us stay warm. Then, after having McKenna in more static poses, we go right back to moving and doing some walking shots along a log. The lesson to learn in this setup is to stay warm. Simplify your setup, no lights, move throughout your location, and limit your exposure. Not spending time with complicated setups or testing lighting. We only spent about 15 minutes at this location. In the first setup, we talk about limiting our exposure to the cold with time. But in this next setup, we reduce our exposure by finding shelter. I scouted this tunnel near a train. Although still cold, it limits our exposure to the wind. I'm using an on-camera flash, a ProPhoto A10, so we can keep it moving. No need to reset my lighting, just dialing in my exposure depending on the model's distance. I personally don't use TTL in situations like this because I do like to experiment. I was thinking edgy fashion portraits, or oftentimes if I'm working with a recording artist or doing an editorial shoot, you want to experiment a little bit. So I decided to add in some shutter drag in combination with some jumps, as well as just me moving the camera since it was cold. The moment I got an image, I was on to the next shot. When working the cold, once you know you got it, move on. We went from jumping to her idea of standing on the railing, to mixing in some dynamic poses in the stairwell. I love these grimy looking locations with on-camera flash. Now, I want you to hear from our model before we get into our most challenging setup. For this shoot, I gave her a warming base layer under the wardrobe, traditional hand warmers that she used all over, as well as giving her some electric hand warmers. But let's hear directly from McKenna.
Hi guys, my name is McKenna Hiller and I am a model based here in New York City. And I'm gonna give you some tips on what you can do to keep your models warm and happy when you are shooting inevitably in the cold weather. The first is a super easy thing. You can throw them in your bag at any time, and it is these Hot Hands hand warmers. The other option are these chargeable hand warmers that I can just fit in my hands super easily, and these are another great option. A little bit bulkier, but throwing them in jacket pockets is amazing. Second thing, if you have layers, right, like I have sleeves on, I can hide things underneath. So always think, okay, if I have long layers on, what can I put underneath that's thin and won't take away from the clothing? And that is thermals. So you can see here, I have a long sleeve thermal. Also have thermal pants on my legs and a hand warmer hiding in there. Other options that are phenomenal for us is having a good home base. So if that's a heated car, if that's a store we can run into, a studio we can run into between sets to warm up, that's really, really helpful. And last but not least, just having extra things on hand so that if you guys are adjusting lighting, you can run over to us and give us a warm down jacket or fur coat, or run over to us and give us gloves, so that when you guys are doing things, we can be warming back up and not just continuing to get colder, because that will reflect in the final option. And it's just a better experience for all of us when we are both warm.
Thank you very much, McKenna. One thing I think really helped was simply having her know I was prepped and didn't expect her to just power through. People are more considerate of you as a photographer if you're more considerate to the job they have to do as well. So now let's look at how the day started. So when working in the cold, I like to start with my strongest setup first and then move into the faster, simpler setups like we've discussed previously. So I decided I wanted to bring my ProPhoto D3, not the B3 which launched just days after this was shot, and I connected it to an Anker Solix C1000 battery and put it in a Godox parabolic reflector. So this setup was designed to fail, I know, but I had fun doing it, so feel free to give me your worst in the comments below. I'll still answer you back. But the images came out pretty dope, and I do end with the right way to do this. So first, how do I stay warm? And I'm from Chicago, so New York never really gets that bad for me. I put hand warmers in the top of my mittens that never run out of battery, and I use rubber gloves after using a Vaseline or Aquaphor moisturizer on my hands. It really helps keep them from getting cold, and I can operate a screen with each finger. I also keep about 3 hand warmers in each pocket so I can stick my hand in them when I need to warm up. My biggest fear with battery operated gloves is I'm not gonna use them for the 3 seasons, and I'm just not sure if the battery's gonna last. One of the things McKenna talked about earlier was a base camp. So for this setup, I let her stay in the car while I got the light set up. I use a meter here, so there is little to no light test when she gets out, and here I can immediately start shooting. This setup mimics more of what I would do if this was a client shoot, except minus the client, the assistant, and a little common sense on my part. But the images we were able to get make it all worth it in my book. And we can chalk this up to a learning experience. And after 25 years, I still do stupid things. I was cold down to the bone bristle, the ill-speaking scud missile heat-seeking, Johnny blazing, nightmares like Wes Craven, Ab seen it gunning, my third eye seen it coming before it happened. What happened? Well, the wind almost took down my light. Yup, number 1 rule, the wind is always capable of taking down anything. But now let's talk about a solution that has a little bit more sense. And that was ultimately to use a glow windproof umbrella that is a type of silver mesh and allows the wind to pass right through it and still give me the fill light I'm looking for. Here's a before and then with the fill added. It just lifts the shadows a bit without looking too lit. I was really happy with these images. And if I was forced to work in the wind or outside at all with larger light shapers, I would even have an assistant dedicated to it at all times. I'd use a heavier stand with a larger base and put at least 75 pounds or more of sandbags on it. Some larger stands will even have a guy ring at the top, which is a little ring that has holes in the top, and then you can use this to attach rope and put stakes in the ground to better secure lights. Hiring an experienced grip or a first assistant can help with these things as well. Working in the cold is never ideal, but whether you're doing a fashion shoot or you're taking your engagement couple out in the cold, my top tips are 1, have a base camp. 2, allow for base layers when possible. And if you're going for multiple looks, do like I did here. For our second look, she simply removed the skirt to reveal shorts. And she had a second jacket in the travel duffel, so we didn't have to waste a lot of time, and it was another layer on standby just in case. This is one of those things that she discussed in her interview earlier. Limit your setup time. Shoot in familiar areas and find creative ways to just use natural light or on-camera flash, or definitely use an assistant when setting up. Lastly, choose the right gear for the job. The wrong equipment can slow you down and limit the shots you're able to get, like me bringing parabolic outside. Let's just stick to the basics for now, because in an extreme environment, the rules do change, because as you know, there are levels to this. My name is Sesay. Definitely like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, and let me know about a time you had shooting in the cold in the comments below.